Happy holidays and welcome back inside Turner Gymnasium, where we are getting ready for more basketball here today between Lynchburg and Eastern Mennonite. It's been 2,848 days since Eastern Mennonite last walked into this building and walked out with a victory. But make no mistake, they arguably come in today with their most talented roster since that game back in February of 2015. They entered today with a 2-2 record, coming off a win against Goucher, and know how to win in close games. They come in today, average margin of victory at 2.5 here for the Royals. And on the other side for Lynchburg, 1-3 coming into today, but certainly the road has not been easy to that 1-3 mark. Opened the season with Mary Washington, a team that's gone on to beat the #1 team in the country in Randolph-Macon on the road, as well as a Hampton-Sydney team, another ODAC foe that is receiving votes in the preseason National Top 25. Also a game for Lynchburg against #4 Christopher Newport before heading to the Pablo Cotto tournament over at Marymount University, where they split 2 games between Marymount before picking up their first game against Amherst. First win, excuse me. We'll turn now, take a quick look at our team stats coming into today. And the first thing that's really going to jump out, especially on the Lynchburg side, is that rebounding number. I know that disparity doesn't look huge coming into today's contest between these two squads, but Lynchburg coming into today getting out-rebounded by an average of 16.3 boards per game. Certainly a point of emphasis, and I spoke to Coach Hillary Scott earlier in the week about that, and he said, yeah, you don't have a guy that's nabbing 10 to 15 rebounds a game like they did in TC Thacker a year ago, but that just makes it all the more important that you have all 5 guys swarming the boards both on the offensive and defensive end. Turning to the other side, it's got to be that assist number that jumps out for Eastern Mennonite, 16.8 per game. A team that shares the ball extremely effectively, gets everybody involved. Really the only issue that they ever run into that is that sometimes they run the issue of passing the ball a little bit too much. They also come into today averaging 16.8 turnovers a game. They'll definitely need to make sure that they take care of the basketball in this one against the Lynchburg team averaging 10 steals a game. Turn now and look at a few of our players to watch now. Starting on the Eastern Mennonite side, take a look at Mark Burkholder, the big man down low, a senior leader on this team. Interesting to note, he scored 19 the last time these two teams met. Of course, that was a 65-60 decision that went in the favor of Eastern Mennonite as they held off a wild second-half comeback from Lynchburg. Also leads the team in rebounds and blocks. Both of those numbers for him are top 10 in the ODAC. On the other side for Lynchburg, Miles Taylor, obviously, as you see there, leads the team in 8.8 points per game. Also leads the team in assists and rebounding. So really been a do-it-all guy for this team so far. No dominant scorer has emerged yet for Lynchburg, but Miles Taylor certainly has the capability. Now, we got just a few minutes until tip-off, so we're going to step away for just a second, and we will be right back here on LHSN. Get you down to the floor for starting lineups and tip-off here on Wayne Prophet Court.
To pursue my passion for music and really have a nice general atmosphere. The professors here are really unique, their background and their passion for teaching. It's really a place where you can explore. Lynchburg gives you the opportunity to fail, but also get back up in that period of time and learn from your mistakes. I can make these mistakes within the school environment, but also with the support of other friends, and be ready for the real world when you graduate.
Today's a rough day. Jess and I are officially on a break. The couple canoe has broken up.
It's not.
How you feeling?
Living the dream.
Just canoeing. That's the Mexican side behind me. The U.S. is that way.
So far, we're all still alive.
I really want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Woo! We did it! Kind of.
Welcome back to court level here inside Turner Gymnasium. Once again, of course, I am Sam Graham without my good friend Andrew Watson here today, but looking forward to taking you through what should be a great one down on the court today. They're running through starting lineups down on the court. We'll do it as well up here in the box. Starting on the Eastern Mennonite side, no surprises there. It's the same five which they have rolled out in each of their first 4 games coming into today. It's going to be Jordan Brown, of course, a former player here at Lynchburg. Then Aviwe Malong, the standout sophomore from Johannesburg, South Africa. Then it'll be Landon Swingler, Mark Burkholder, of course, as we talked about in the pregame, and Julian Hagersman will round out the starters for the Royals. Taking a look at the Lynchburg side, it's going to be Kuda Savage. He, of course, returned and earlier this week against Queens after a scary fall against Christopher Newport. He will be joined in the backcourt by Jordan Parham and Pearson Young, the freshman. Then down low, it will be the aforementioned Miles Taylor, as well as Mason Makovic. And Makovic, a guy that really, spent a majority of his time on the bench last year. He's come on this year, taken up a big role for this team. Seen his minutes increase, seen his points increase, seen his rebounds increase, and he has really turned into a consistent, solid player, for lack of a better term here for this Lynchburg team. It's going to be critically important, especially for Taylor and Makovic starting out down low, but also Trey Pittman, who I'm sure we will see later in the game. They're going to have their hands full with Burkholder. We talked about him in the pregame. Rebounding's been an issue for this Lynchburg team. Definitely something, as Coach Scott alluded to, they are trying to right the ship when it comes to the rebounding disparity. A team that defensively is good at getting their opponent's head, digging deep into opponents' benches. Eastern Mennonite doesn't generally play more than 7 to 8 guys, but that rebounding is really going to be key today. Burkholder, again, top 10 in the ODAC in rebounds coming into this contest, and he'll be looking to bring in more than that 7.5 that he's averaging today. And as we take a look now, getting close to tip off at the coaches in today's game, of course, Lynchburg led by Coach Hillary Scott in his 15th season. Of course, his playing career, an All-American at Roanoke College. Has amassed more than 200 wins now at Lynchburg and led the team to both its first national ranking and NCAA tournament. On the Eastern Mennonite side, another former Maroon in Melvin Felix. He's in his 5th season now and his 12th season with the program after serving under their previous head coach, Kirby Dean. As we head down and get ready for the tip, it'll be Makovic and Burkholder. And Burkholder, the 6'7" big man for Eastern Mennonite, controls the tip. Lynchburg in their home whites. Eastern Mennonite in royal blue. Immediately working it around, sharing the ball. Shot goes up there by Jordan Brown, comes off. Immediately Lynchburg, as we expect them to do, moving fast in transition. A deep 3 from Young, just off, but you do see Young immediately moving there to crash the boards following a shot. Doesn't get to it. But how about our player to watch, Mark Burkholder, in transition, immediately getting the scoring going just about 40 seconds into this game. Decent Eastern Mennonite contingent here behind our scores table. Of course, just about hour and a half to 2 hour trip from Eastern Mennonite to Lynchburg. So another shot goes off there. Eastern Mennonite patient here. Brown, of course, running the point. Savage on him. Now a 3 will go up and in, and it is a quick 5-0 lead. Credit that one to Julian Hagerman, nailing the first triple of this game. Lynchburg known for taking a lot of threes, but Eastern Mennonite not afraid to shoot a few of their own. And Hagerman gets things going there, knocking in his 9th triple of the game. That leads all players for either team. As Parham sees his shot just rattle around and out. Parham had a little bit of trouble so far this season getting shots to fall at the clip I'm sure he would like. Did see 15 points in the exhibition game against Queens earlier this week. So certainly encouraging for him. As there's a rebound to Makovic. He was looking for Parham in transition. Leads Parham out of bounds. Parham cannot corral it, and Eastern Mennonite will take over. Things moving at breakneck speed here early. That turnover does allow Savage to press up on Brown a little bit. In the backcourt, he does get it across the timeline. And trouble corralling the ball there. Then Savage gets a hand on it, knocks it off. And then he does knock it off the leg of Hagerman. Ball awarded to Lynchburg. So great to see Kuda Savage getting in there, making an athletic play and forcing a turnover for Lynchburg. Of course, as we mentioned, took that scary tumble against Christopher Newport, was able to return to action earlier this week against Queens, came off the bench in that game. Coach Scott said he expects his minutes to increase, so it's great to see him back in the starting lineup. Of course, began his season at Barton College, now in his second year with the Hornets. There's another shot from Burkholder with a hand in his face. Does not matter. Burkholder nails it right there along the baseline. Just a nice, easy mid-range jumper. And a quick 4 for Burkholder. To pair with that Hagerman 3, has an early 7-0 advantage for Eastern Mennonite. Parham pulls up, creates the shot for himself and banks it in. Lynchburg is on the board. 3.5 minutes into this one. Then we get a quick foul there before Brown had even reached midcourt. That's going to go against Savage. Andre Pacheco, it looks like, will check in. He will do so for Brown, who will take a seat, have a quick conversation with Coach Felix, and we are back in action here on the court. Solid look in rhythm. Hagerman only caught the front iron. Taylor able to corral it. Good hustle from him. Lynchburg in transition. Parham thought about a 3. Thinks better. How about the cut from Young? Oh, a little bit of contact, but good defense there. Credit to Burkholder altering that shot. Young unable to finish. And there's going to be a little hand check foul against Young on the other side. Potentially a little bit of frustration there as he fouls Swingler. We're going to see another substitution for the Royals as quickly C.J. McCord, who leads the team in three-point percentage in the early going this year. Granted, a small sample size, but 66.7% from 3. We get another foul here, so 3 early fouls going against Lynchburg. This one will be inbounded under the basket. Malong will be the inbounder. Gets it into Pacheco. Ball swings to Swingler. Pacheco with a nice pass and gets one of the best scorers in the ODAC. And Aviwe Malong on the board with the short jumper in the lane. See the patience there from EMU. They look for the best shot. Makovic takes it right at a couple of EMU defenders. Unable to get that one to drop, just rims out for him. So early on, Lynchburg creating a couple opportunities close to the basket, just unable to convert on them. First it was Young, then it was Makovic. And on the flip side, Eastern Mennonite looking crisp so far. There's a Burkholder 3. He only catches iron. Parham, step back jumper. Would have been 3 had it gone. Did not, but Lynchburg will retain possession. We'll get our first Lynchburg subs. It's the aforementioned Trey Pittman. He'll be wearing number 12, as well as Kevon James. James, a couple starts early on for this Lynchburg team. Senior guard, averaging 7 points on the year. And 5 of 12 during that Pablo Cotto tournament from 3. There's another Parham three. That one was about on line. Pittman with the rebound down low. And how welcome a sight that must be. Early Christmas present for Coach Hillary Scott. As one of his big man, Pittman standing at right around 6'6", 6'7", able to position himself, haul in the offensive rebound, and put it back up and in. Speaking shades of T.C. Thacker and what he did in this gym for the previous 5 years for this team. There, Parham pokes it away. Nobody between him and the basket. He takes it, well, not quite coast to coast, but breezes right past down the left side of this court. Easy bucket here for Lynchburg, and they have narrowed the disparity to just 3. As a pass goes out of bounds, just a miscommunication for Eastern Mennonite. Malong just tosses it to the Lynchburg bench. Says, my bad. And we're going to get a quick stoppage in play here. Our first timeout of the afternoon. We're going to take it with them. We're going to step aside for a moment, catch our breath, and we will be right back here on LHSN. Quick break here as the teams get ready to take the court once again here in the early going. Eastern Mennonite out to a 9-6 lead here. And for Lynchburg, of course, mentioned they were at Queens earlier this week for that exhibition game. That was on Wednesday, and it's been a bit of a busy week here for Lynchburg since then. Coach Scott detailing how the week has gone. Of course, got back from pretty late from Charlotte on that Wednesday evening, had a shooting and weightlifting session on Thanksgiving morning before having Thanksgiving dinner together with the team. Then on Friday, it was a couple of film sessions and a regular practice. And then today, getting ready for game action again with shoot around and all the normal game day stuff. So no rest on this Thanksgiving break here for this Lynchburg men's basketball team. Swingler in the corner, James all over him. Mentioned earlier, Lynchburg, as James hits the deck, strong take from Malong, shot won't fall. Then a battle for the rebound. That's Pittman battling with Michael Watlington. Watlington averaging around 7 points a game. Comes off the bench for this Eastern Mennonite team, but sees plenty of action. Good rebounder as well. The point I was making a moment ago as James was pressuring Swingler there in the corner. Of course, this is the Lynchburg team. We're going to see a technical free throw for Malong. I have to imagine that was a result of James hitting the deck and the NCAA's new rules this year. Get one technical free throw for any attempted flops or any time a player hits the court and it is deemed unnecessary. No longer any warnings. The NCAA making a concentrated effort to try and take that part of the game away. Of course, Malong misses on the shot, and immediately it is Lynchburg back the other way. A little press there from Eastern Mennonite. Able to find the cutting Taylor, who's really couldn't stop his momentum from running into, I believe that was Watlington, down low. So we take a look at the replay. You see, he's got Pittman wide open down low. He sees him. Watlington, though, outside of that restricted area, gets set too early, and it's just a beautiful play there from Watlington, playing the position game, and really nothing Taylor could do about it. Has to be frustrating for Lynchburg, though, as he had about the easiest shot you can get on the basketball court, sitting there with Trey Pittman just right under the basket. Heads up play from Watlington. There's a near turnover. Instead, it'll go to Watlington. He'll take a little bit of contact. Young frustrated. See who they credit this one to. They will give it to Pittman. That is the 5th foul for Lynchburg already this half. We're just about 7.5 minutes underway here. Now Watlington at the line where he will shoot 2. Off on the first one, rattles in and out. Watlington leads the team in field goal percentage at 68.4%. That number is good for second in the ODAC as well. At the line coming in today, he's 50%, makes good on that percentage at the line there. Splitting 1 for 2 as the Royals reach double figures first in this one. Here's the press again. Lynchburg froze a bit, had an open Pittman in the corner. James didn't see him, takes it to the basket instead, draws the foul and the bucket. Kevon James with a tough take. We'll show it to you again. No, never mind, we will not. But how about this Lynchburg team? First couple games of the season were, really just okay to settle at times for, tough threes. Obviously, three-pointers, just inherently tougher shots than getting opportunities down low. But early on today, you see, especially these Lynchburg guards cutting to the basket, but it's Pittman and Makovic and Taylor as well, making cuts down low, trying to give themselves easy opportunities as James makes good on the free throw there. The old-fashioned three-point play. And now James on the defensive end, giving trouble to Brown. Brown does cross the midcourt line, but that draws some cheers here from this Lynchburg crowd, especially the women's basketball team, which is in attendance. They had practice earlier this morning, hung around to watch this game, and crowd aiding in that defensive effort there. Lynchburg working it inside to Pittman. That's Sutton, who's now entered the game. Worth noting, also missed Elijah Davis coming in as Malong buries a triple. Aviwe Malong, he's been fantastic this season. Came in as a freshman last year, was an immediate contributor for this Eastern Mennonite team, the 6'4" wing out of South Africa. And now James has his pass stolen by Malong, and Malong draws the foul. That's going to be the 6th team foul going against Lynchburg now. But back to Malong, 15 points a game to go with 6 rebounds a game. Leads the team in minutes and scoring. Touched on earlier, that 15-point per game mark is good for top 10 in the conference. And that last 3 was his 8th make of the season. Now he's got a wide open one again, opposite side of the court, just rims out. As Pittman grabs the rebound and Lynchburg in transition. Had Young in the corner. Sutton didn't see him. Now they work it to Young. He's got an angle. Baseline jumper from Pittman, bounces all around the rim. How about Young on the rebound, puts it back up and in. What a tough play there from Pearson Young, the freshman. Only 6'3", going up, bringing down that rebound and immediately going back up strong with it. Lynchburg trails by just 2 now. As Burkholder again takes a triple, that one from the corner, and Lynchburg will draw a foul. That is only the 2nd against the Royals today. Pacheco heads to the bench for Eastern Mennonite. Looks as though Eastern Mennonite will not press here, as Malong also takes to the bench. So it's Swingler, Watlington, Burkholder. The 3 goes up and in from Pearson Young. What a start to the game here from him. Obviously had that cut earlier, set himself up for an easy opportunity down low. Of course, didn't convert there, but a quick 5 from him. Of course, now it's an easy triple on the other end. Make that the 2nd of the day for Julian Hagerman. How about the way that this Eastern Mennonite team shares the ball? It draws a timeout from this Lynchburg staff. Lynchburg just took their first lead of the game on that Pearson Young triple, but immediately Eastern Mennonite responding with one of its own. And I expect this, as we said in the pregame, this certainly should be a back and forth game. Again, Eastern Mennonite comfortable playing in these close games. 3 of their first 4, being decided by just 4 points or less. Neither of these two teams extremely high average scoring teams, both checking in the 60s coming into today on average, but both comfortable with running up and down the floor, getting 3-pointers up. But interesting to note, only 4 triples going up for Lynchburg in the early going of this one. It's only 25% of their total field goal attempts so far, 6 of 16 overall. How about a triple there from Elijah Davis, one of the best to shoot the 3 in the conference. Leads the team as well in that category. The 6'4" sophomore wing out of Chapel Hill has his first points of the game. Quickly on the other end, Burkholder finds position down low and gets an easy 2 as Eastern Mennonite once again retakes the lead, and we'll get a stoppage in play here. See that 3 once again from Elijah Davis. It's now Young will inbound it from under his own basket. The no-look pass to Pittman. Pittman draws all kinds of contact. Shot goes up. Looks like no basket. Which, if that's the case, will not even be a shooting foul there for Pittman. So once again, Young inbounding under his own basket, goes right back to Pittman. Pittman, a little step back fader. Young gets tripped up after Burkholder grabs the rebound. What a nice little pass there from Young. And although Pittman does draw the foul on that first attempt, not able to convert the basket. And the Eastern Mennonite defense holds up. How about Watlington back on the other end? Easy 2 there for him. He's got 5 in the early going of this one. There's a 3. Savage. Release looked great. Ball is off, and it would have been an easy basket as Burkholder, nobody near him running down the court. But the foul's going to go against Savage. And that is Savage's 2nd and Lynchburg's 8th. Eastern Mennonite now in the bonus. Still 8:45 to go in this first half. Savage, though I'm not sure it's what he intended to do, prevented an easy 2. Instead, Eastern Mennonite's going to have to earn it at the line. And it will be Swingler aiming to do that. That was his first free throw attempt of the season, no good. Of course, that was a 1-and-1 rebound by Young, and immediately Lynchburg back the other way. Once again going inside, Makovic, 2 defenders around him, he draws the foul. This time it will be in the act of shooting. And the sophomore will be heading to the line. Let's take another look at it here. Works the position, little spin move, draws the contact, and instinctively going up with the shot. Doesn't get the basket on the floor, but he's going to get a shot to earn it here at the line, where he is hovering just under 70% on the season. Good on the first. And last year, Makovic, he just made 4 appearances, averaged 0.5 points per game. I mean, that's not too out of the ordinary for this Lynchburg team. Not a whole lot of freshmen get playing time, which speaks volumes to what this coaching staff thinks of Pearson Young and all the minutes he's gotten, as Makovic is no good on the second. But flash forward to this year, Makovic, and he's only averaging, somewhere between 10 to 15 minutes a game. But those numbers ballooned to 5 points, 1.5 rebounds. Also had 10 in that season opener against Mary Wash to lead all Hornet scorers. On the other end, though, foul's going to go against Landon Sutton, looking to poke that ball away. And once again, it will put Eastern Mennonite at the charity stripe Pardon me, I misspoke on that last foul against Lynchburg. This is their 8th. It'll be Brown at the line, and that one rims in and out. So a little bit of trouble here at the free throw line early. This Eastern Mennonite team does not take a whole lot of free throws. Definitely has to be a point of emphasis, especially against a team that plays as fast as Lynchburg. You're going to be more prone to mistakes, and that includes fouls. As you see, they've had 8 already today, but the Eastern Mennonite team that's only going to the line about 13 times a game as 2 Royals collide with each other. That's Watlington and Hagerman. Ends up as a Swingler 3. He doesn't get back in transition. Parham wide open. Give it to him. And Lynchburg has retaken the lead, 21-20, with 7:40 to go in this opening half. Parham, as we spoke on earlier, struggled to hit the 3 a little bit in the early going as Lynchburg on the other end, forcing the turnover as Brown steps on the baseline. And how about good offense turning into good defense on the other side? Lynchburg seems to have the Royals just a little bit rattled here at the moment. After Eastern Mennonite came out and really controlled this game in the early going, have a brief stoppage in play. Swingler heading over to get checked out over there. Looks like he's going to go, no, will not go to locker room, but going to take a seat behind the bench as the medical staff here from Lynchburg will tend to him. Excuse me, not Swingler, Hagerman. He, of course, took that spill, got tangled up with his teammate Watlington. Watlington standing there next to him behind the bench as well. On the floor for Lynchburg right now, it's Young, Makovic, Parham, Davis, and Sutton. On the other side, it is Brown, Malong, Swingler. For the first time today, it will be Miles McIntyre. And rounding out that 5 for Eastern Mennonite will be Pacheco, checked back into the game. Coach Scott out on the floor in the general vicinity where those 2 Royal teammates collided with each other earlier. Have to imagine we got a little bit of cleanup duty that may need to be done there, and Coach Scott content to make sure that that is seen to. We'll get to see what Lynchburg draws up here in the half court. Talked about it in the Mary Washington game. We've talked about it so far today. They love to run, that's no secret. But one very important tweak we've seen today is the 3-point volume. Yeah, they've shot a few. They've put up 7 now. They've hit 3 of them, but I mean, these 3-point looks have been fantastic. I mean, think about the one in transition to Parham. Swingler just, thinks he's going to cut. Instead, Parham just pulls up at the 3-point line. That's a wide open 3 in motion, in rhythm. That's a beautiful look. And for a guy that's, struggled a little bit to find his shot early on this season in Parham, that's got to be such a welcome sight for him. I mean, for a shooter, it's just no better feeling than to see the ball finally go through the net when you've been having a little bit of trouble. Touched on him putting up 15 earlier this week against Queens. That's his 5th 3-pointer of the season. But despite the struggles he's faced behind the line, still averaging 8.5 points per game, consistent starter for this Lynchburg team, and a starting 5 that's been a little bit all over the place. Coach Scott said earlier this week that he's more concerned, he and this Lynchburg staff, they're more concerned with who's going to finish the game rather than who's going to start. Said he's really not that concerned with who gets the game going. That's really often a day-by-day determination. Most important thing is when it comes down to it in a close game, do you feel confident in the 5 you have on the floor then to pull things out for your squad? And that does allow you the luxury of, going through a game, seeing who, kind of has the hot touch on that particular day, who's been a good defender for your team on that day. There's a deep 3 from Parham. Might have been a heat check, but give it to him. Back-to-back triples from Parham. Hornets take their largest lead of the afternoon at 4. And Parham finding his three-point stroke early on today, his 6th of the season, his 2nd today. And Parham quickly into double figures, the first on either end. As we see a miss and an ensuing foul there on Swingler, going after the rebound. Instead catches the arm of Makovic. As we take another look at this Parham 3, you first see Sutton come along, swing the ball over to Young. Young again, swing the ball over to Parham. And yeah, it's a deep one, but it's a wide open look there for Parham, and he's got range, as you just saw there. I mean, that's reminiscent to, some trickeration football action. The double pitch, and it results in 3 for the Hornets. Parham, speaking of football, goes up and makes a Des Bryant-esque catch, hauling in with one arm. Justin Jefferson, I should say. How about Pearson Young? The threes are falling in bunches here for Lynchburg in their return to Turner Gymnasium. Pearson Young puts one on the board. That's the 5th of the season for the freshman. Excuse me, the 6th, and his 2nd today. How about one on the other side? Miles McIntyre drops one in. He's a bench piece for this Eastern Mennonite squad. Comes in today averaging 3 points a game to go along with a rebound per game. Only appeared in one game so far this season, but getting some early action here today. He's a 3-year starter at Metrolina. Comes out of Charlotte, North Carolina. And that is his 2nd triple of the season. Davis creating his own shot, can't find it. Now Eastern Mennonite wants to roll a little bit. Davis on the defensive end, alters that pass. Malong, no look pass out to Swingler on the wing. He cuts inside, draws a foul. Coach Scott unhappy with that one. Let you be the judge at home as we take another look. How about that pass from Malong, though? Sees the court so well. Only averages about 2.5 assists a game, but does a great job getting his teammates involved as he did there. We're going to see a timeout here on the floor. We're going to take it with them. Quick break for everybody to catch their breath, and we'll get you back here for the final 5 or so minutes of this first half here on LHSN. Welcome back inside Turner Gymnasium. Players getting ready to go again on the court. 27-23 lead for Lynchburg right now on the scoreboard, but let's dig into the game a little bit. We talked about some trends that each of these two teams were kind of looking to buck as we came into this game, and for Lynchburg it was, it struggled really from the three-point line early on in this season. Came into today just 24.5% from beyond the arc, and that's shooting at a high volume of threes. Today, 5 of their first 10, really being methodical with how they're sharing the ball. Virtually every single one of those 10 looks from behind the arc has been a really solid look, and something that Coach Scott's got to be happy with his team taking. As meanwhile, Swingler, it's another free throw miss for Eastern Mennonite. That's going to take them to just 1 of 6 in the early going. Again, a team that doesn't even get to the line that often. They've drawn 9 fouls from Lynchburg early. Do go 1 of 2 there. But 2 of 7 early on from the line in this one. That was something Eastern Mennonite felt like really needed to get going a little bit. Not that their percentage as a team was horrible coming into today, hovering right around 70%, just a touch lower than Lynchburg's, but they're getting to the line today. They're just failing to convert on all those opportunities. But back to the earlier point, as Makovic again goes inside, he gets fouled, hits the deck. Foul's going to go against number 55, Miles McIntyre. Take a look at this one again. It will send Makovic to the line, where Makovic is 1 of 2 on the day. Just 1 point so far for the sophomore, but he's been very active, especially down low. Active on the boards as well with 3. And makes good on the first. Lynchburg now in the bonus as well. So that first free throw huge. Second one coming. And 2 for 2 there from Makovic at the line. Brings him to 3 of 4 on the day. All 3 of his points coming at the line. But providing very valuable minutes down low as Malone gets the angle on him. How about the turnaround? Man, is Aviwe Malone crafty. What a play there from the sophomore. Gives him 7 on the afternoon. That leads all scorers for Eastern Mennonite. So that pass gets tipped. Came from Kevon James. Looking for Jason Easton, another freshman, along with Pearson Young, who's seen some time in this lineup. Path does not make its way to Easton in the corner, so it'll be Sutton inbounding from the baseline. He has to heave it all the way back behind midcourt where James corrals it. Now Lynchburg sets up its offense. Sutton again probing to get down low, gets stuck. How about that defense from Miles McIntyre? Sutton makes a move at the bucket. No lane opens up for the shot. McIntyre recognizes that. Just shields Sutton with his body. Never even really touches him. Sutton has nowhere to go but land on the baseline under his own basket. And that'll go down as a Lynchburg turnover. Really heads up play by McIntyre. Now they look to work it inside to him. Pass doesn't make its way there. Pacheco nearly loses it, finds a wide open Brown in the corner on that right wing. He doesn't draw anything. And the hairball chants go up inside Turner Gymnasium. Meanwhile, Lynchburg takes over once again on offense. We're noticing a lot more methodical level of offense here from Lynchburg. Taking their time, looking for the best shot. It's something that Coach Scott emphasizes. Makovic on the turnaround there, not able to draw anything but the backboard. And Brown quickly in transition puts his head down and gets right to the bucket. You're not going to find a much easier basket than that. Just explodes when he hit around the three-point line. 2 or 3 steps, he's at the rim, and there's really nothing Lynchburg can do to stop that. Cuts the lead to just 1. Sutton takes it right at McIntyre. McIntyre's got really nothing he can do but stand there and put his hands up. The lead extends back to 3. We'll take a look at it again. It draws a timeout from Eastern Mennonite. We're going to stay here. But another strong take once again by a Lynchburg guard. This time it's Landon Sutton. Sutton's first basket of the afternoon. Very balanced scoring already here for Lynchburg. 7 Hornets have already gotten themselves on the board. It's still Parham that leads all scorers with 10. But 8 from Young as well. Contributing to this 31-28 early three-point margin favoring Lynchburg. Still 3 minutes to go here in this first half. But continuing on that point from earlier, about a couple of key points of emphasis from each of these coaches. We talked about the Lynchburg piece of it with the three-point shooting. On the Eastern Mennonite side of things, turnovers were an issue coming into this one. They were averaging close to 17 a game. Assist-to-turnover ratio at 1 even. Actually averaging the exact same amount of assists and turnovers. But today, now we're getting pretty close to the end of this first half. Just 4 turnovers so far for Eastern Mennonite, and only 3 steals for Lynchburg, team that averages 10. As Malong that time gets to the basket, and now we're seeing a couple of teams, they're getting aggressive, creating lanes for themselves to get to the hoop and make things as easy as possible. The threes hadn't gone up a ton, especially on the Eastern Mennonite side, since the early going. Eastern Mennonite has taken 11 of those triples today, only hit on 4 of them. Results in a 36% mark. Again, Lynchburg feeds to Makovic. Seen a lot of the offense start with him, and then it's up to him whether he wants to make a move for the basket or kick it back out. There's another strong take from Sutton, and he will draw a foul. It's going to be the 8th against EMU. And it will go on McIntyre again. That's going to be his 2nd of the afternoon. So a little bit of a decision here for Eastern Mennonite head coach Melvin Felix. Of course, McIntyre, a guy only seeing his 2nd game of action here today. This season looks like he will check out. Watlington will come in his place. McIntyre certainly came in and made an impact, particularly on the defensive end. Sure, we will see more of him in the second half. Pacheco runs the possession here. He hands off to Brown. Guarded by Sutton. That ball, not sure if it just got away from Malong, who now finds himself wide open for 3. Catches the front of the iron. Great look at it, because that would have taken Malong into double figures. Currently sits at 9. How about the layup on the other end? Jordan Parham with 12 in the first half here today. And not only that, 5 of 9 from the floor, shooting over 50%. Sutton gets his hand in that passing lane. Ball will go to Lynchburg. I guess they say it glanced off of Brown. Now they will reverse the call. It will stay with Eastern Mennonite, and Brown will be the inbounder here. Gets it into Pacheco. Goes to Malong. Brown to Watlington. How about the ball movement from Eastern Mennonite? Results in a really good look once again. Same spot for Malong, but on back-to-back possessions, he's just unable to convert. Then it's an offensive foul going against Pearson Young. So once again, ball will go back to Eastern Mennonite. So here they've been able to string a couple of quick possessions together for themselves. So we take a look at the replay. Didn't look like a ton. Definitely a little bit of contact coming from Young there. Quickly, Eastern Mennonite sets up. You can see they're playing quickly, but they move the ball so effectively. There's a little bit of a settle shot that will not drop for McCord. Again, top three-point shooter for this squad. That was a 2. On the other end, Pittman draws a foul, and that's going to send him to the line, as now Lynchburg hits the double bonus. So for the final 37 seconds of this first half, every foul will result in 2 shots. Pittman good on the first. Brings his scoring total to 3 on the afternoon. Also hauled in 5 rebounds, which has got to draw a lot of approval from his coach. It's actually his first made free throw on the year. Misses on that second one. Really nice per 40 stats coming into today from Pittman. Those per 40 numbers, 20.4 points per game, 9.4 field goals made per 40. That's good for fifth in the ODAC. Now in transition, Pittman gets a real nice easy one close to the basket. He is able to convert on it, and Lynchburg has extended the lead to 7. Is now a trap on Brown. Loses the ball. Now it's a wide open layup. Pacheco, right place, right time. 2 seconds. Heave from James will not drop. Would have been good if it had, but we have hit the half here in the Hill City on this Thanksgiving weekend. And I know that we are all thankful for the game we have been treated to so far on a beautiful November afternoon. We're going to step aside. When we come back, we'll take a look at those numbers from the first half as well as highlights and more right here on LHSN.
The biggest thing that I've taken from Westover is probably my interactions with faculty. I started working with Dr. Fryer. He's always available for help, and he makes sure that I get to do the experiments and not just be there while he does them. I didn't want to limit myself when I came here to just taking the prereqs for med school. I wanted to get a full, well-rounded education, and I definitely found that in the Westover program. It's given me the opportunity to keep playing soccer at a competitive level, but also it's given me the ability to be a student and to pursue other activities such as EMS. "100% do Westover because it's not something they're going to regret, and it's going to be a lot of work, but so is everything else. It's just going to help build their education that they've already had and make them a better person for it."
I was looking for a school that could provide me with the athletics, academics to pursue my career, a wind symphony to pursue my passion for music, and really have a nice general atmosphere. The professors here are really unique, their background and their passion for teaching. It's really a place where you can explore. Lynchburg gives you the opportunity to fail, but also get back up in that period of time and learn from your mistakes. I can make these mistakes within the school environment, but also with the support of other friends, and be ready for the real world when you graduate.
Today's a rough day. Jess and I are officially on a break. The couple canoe has broken up.
It's not.
How you feeling?
Living the dream.
Just canoeing. That's the Mexican side behind me. The U.S. is that way.
So far, we're all still alive.
I really want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Woo! We did it! Kind of.
Well, we have hit the half here in Turner Gymnasium. Couldn't ask for much more out of that first half than what we got. We hit the half with that 37-32 score favoring Lynchburg. Again, it's been a while since Eastern Mennonites come in this building and walked out with a win, but given the Hornets, certainly a competitive game so far. We're going to take a look at the team stats in the early going of this one. As you look at that, both of these teams shooting pretty well from the field. That 50% number from three-point range obviously jumps out for Lynchburg. That's an area they've really struggled this year. They want to get up a lot of threes, but just haven't found great looks early in the season. Tonight, or excuse me, this afternoon, they are certainly doing that. 5 of 10 from deep. Rebounding, you see Lynchburg slight edge, 20-15. I mean, what more can you ask for if you coach Scott? That was one of the biggest keys to the game on the Lynchburg side was, we need to crash the boards. We need to get rebounds. And, extending possessions on the offensive end has been a big part of that as well. And then obviously when you're cutting to the basket, creating opportunities down low, those rebounds are a lot easier to get than one coming off of a three-point miss. You don't really know where that's always going to go. The turnover number is huge for Eastern Mennonite. We touched on that early in the half. On pace to have just 10 in the game, a team that's averaging close to 17 on the season. If they want to come back into this game, end up taking the lead and ultimately getting the win, got to keep that turnover number low. And obviously you want to hit on a few more of the three-point range. At 33%, that's certainly not shabby, and 46% from the field as a team is very solid. Most likely that Lynchburg three-point number is going to come down a little bit, and that disparity will begin to shrink. One more number that's not on the screen that I want to touch on, though, points in the paint. Mentioned these Lynchburg, especially Lynchburg guards, finding cutting lanes, being really methodical with their passing, finding those cutters when they make those moves. It's resulted in a pretty close disparity when it comes to points in the paint, something Lynchburg has gotten heavily outscored in so far this season. Tonight, it is just 16-14 favoring Eastern Mennonite, so expect that to continue as this Lynchburg team looks for quality shots. Now we're going to take a look at some of the highlights from this first half. There were certainly a lot of them. Here first, Hagerman corralling the ball there. The active hands from Savage. One of the steals forced early in this season. Then James on the break. A lot of easy opportunities created so far by this Lynchburg team. Both these teams playing really hard, as you see in that last little clip. There's Taylor, our player to watch. The pass off to Pittman ended up not counting, but Pittman a solid start. How about that three from Malong? He leads Eastern Mennonite in scoring. He has been fantastic in the early going of this one. Expect them to lean heavily on him. He's their star. He's their big scorer. Burkholder as well got out to a 6-point start and then was pretty quiet. Ended up 0 of 2 from beyond the arc. There's another one of those Lynchburg threes. It's been so refreshing for any Lynchburg fan, any Lynchburg player, and the Lynchburg staff to see some of those go down. Makovic doing a lot of the work inside in that first half for Lynchburg. Didn't necessarily manifest itself on the scoreboard, but he does get himself to the line a few times. And how about this three from Parham? Extending his range. Give it 2 or 3 feet behind the line. Nothing but net there. As this is really what Lynchburg has been looking for, has finally manifested itself in the first half of this game. You just hope that it continues as players begin to get shots up once again. Just real quick before we head back to commercial, run you through some of these individual stats from that first half. Parham leading all scoring for the Hornets. He's got 12, the only player in double figures in this game. On the other side, Aviwe Malong leads the charge with 9 for the Royals. He also leads the team in rebounding with 5. And on the boards for Lynchburg, a pretty balanced attack, but how about Pearson Young? 8 points, 8 rebounds in that first half. Make it 3 assists. He leads the team in assists as well, does Young. And on the Eastern Mennonite side, we know assisting, sharing the ball is such a big part of their identity. Jordan Brown, the former Hornet, he's got 5 dimes in the first half. We're going to step aside one more time. We got about 4 minutes until the second half gets underway here on Wayne Prophet Court.
Living the dream.
USA, Mexico. That was so exciting.
Here's to life and here's to Lynchburg, to the years we spent together. I don't know when or how we gathered, but I know I'm home.
Welcome back inside. Teams just finishing up their halftime shoot around, getting loose for this second half of action. Here, ODAC men's basketball, first ODAC contest of the season for each of these two teams. ODAC switching things up a little bit this year. Every team getting a little bit of an introductory to conference play in the early going. And each of these two teams obviously kicking it off against each other. It's going to be Ferrum, Virginia Wesleyan, and Hampton-Sydney coming up for Lynchburg. How about that Virginia Wesleyan team? Not picked, picked fourth in the preseason ODAC poll. Not necessarily up there in those top tier contenders, but they're off to a 5-0 start. And then on the other side for Eastern Mennonite, they're going to get Marymount next. Team that Lynchburg has faced and came away with a narrow loss in that one. Then they'll take on Washington and Lee and Hampton-Sydney on December 3rd. So they'll be back in action tomorrow. Busy times for Eastern Mennonite. But before we get started with this second half of action, just wanted to run through some of these keys of the game for each team. And it's really just incredible to look at all the boxes that have been checked, really on both sides. Obviously, in the early going, you're trying to find your identity. You're trying to knock rust off. On the Lynchburg side of things, you're kind of changing your identity a little bit this year with this new pace they're playing at. And honestly, playing at that pace and playing efficiently is really something that you just have to accumulate with game experience. There's really no other way to replicate in game, and you got to get yourself in shape to run up and down the court for 40 minutes, 2 or 3 times a week. So certainly comes in time. But as we look at Lynchburg, you run down what Coach Scott was looking for coming into this game. You need the threes to start falling. Well, that's going well. You've hit 5 in the first half. You're 50% from beyond the arc. You want to keep opponents off the free throw line. Well, you can check that box as well, as it's only been 7 free throws to go up for Eastern Mennonite. Granted, you did get in the bonus pretty early, but really limited the damage that was done on the free throw line. Limit the damage down low. We talked about that earlier in this halftime break. They've done that. Even the disparity on the boards, be more methodical on the offensive end. Just box after box check for Lynchburg, and for Eastern Mennonite as well. Taking quality shots. They're 46% from the floor in wins this season, only 38% in losses. Well, guess right where they're shooting right now in that first half. Right about 45%. So right at that average for what it takes for them to win games in the early going of this season. Definitely want to get to the line more, but have definitely gotten the ball to Oviwe Malong, their leading scorer, especially in the latter half of that first period, and sharing the ball as they always do. They've also been able to shake off this Lynchburg press for the most part. Only 5 turnovers in that first half. So a couple of coaches have to be very pleased with how this went. How about Miles Taylor immediately getting a 3 up from the corner? Of course, our player to watch. It's just off. He's scoreless so far. Don't expect that to remain the case the further we get into this game. But so far, just 1 rebound. Did pick up 2 early fouls, and that sent him to the bench early. You see the starters on the floor once again. There it's Malong drawing the foul on Makovic. That will be the second on Makovic. We'll send Malong to the line. Only took that technical free throw in the first half, which he missed. But on the season, Malong shooting 76.5% from the line. Misses on that one. Gets the ball back. Knocks down the triple. Malong into double figures. He's got 14. As we just touched on, for Eastern Mennonite, Makovic attempts a 3. Had a little bit of space, not necessarily his game, and he's obviously been doing a lot of the grunt work down low so far today. No 3-pointers made so far on the year, but how about Malong? Misses on the free throw, but immediately puts himself in position to knock down on a great opportunity. There's another 3. That one comes from Swingler. And here come the Royals. They have retaken the lead at 40-37. A quick 5 from Malong. How about a 3 from Swingler there? There's a good look from Savage. He actually doesn't take it. Instead, we'll give it to Young. Shot looks like it would go down, but ends up coming up short. Burkholder thought about a 3, didn't take it. Gets turned around a little bit. Swingler trying to maneuver. Malong, another 3. Buries it. Aviwe Malong is hot. And Lynchburg forced to take an early timeout in the second half. Just a minute 45 into things. We're going to stay here. 11-0 run from Eastern Mennonite coming out of the half. And how else do you get things going on the offensive end than by going to your go-to scorer? 15 points a game for Aviwe Malong. Well, he's got 17 already. Only had 9 at the half. A quick 8 for him has him over his season average. And scoring in bursts, as we knew he was capable of doing. He's come in and made an immediate impact on this Eastern Mennonite team since he got to campus last season. You obviously hear the most about his scoring, but capable of doing it all. Ranks near the top of the team in assists. And again, although he's only 6'4", currently hauling in 6.5 rebounds a game on average. But right now, it's all about that scoring lift that he's giving to this Eastern Mennonite team. 2 quick triples give him 3 on the day. That last one, his 10th of the season. So do some quick math there. Currently averaging 2 triples per game. But my goodness, is his hand hot right now. Don't be surprised if a few more go up from number 3 in blue. Making good on that number in the early going of the second half. Lynchburg, Parham was their top scorer in the first half. He puts up a shot there, will not drop. And it's 1 and done for Lynchburg. Eastern Mennonite the other way. Pacheco resets things from the Hornet logo. Parham playing him close. Fake the give and go to Malong. Once again they fake it with Swingler. End up finding an open Brown. He passes it up. 3 from the wing. That's Burkholder. He is now 0 of 3, but the offensive rebound goes to Eastern Mennonite. And a reset. Now a 3 from Swingler. Same spot Burkholder took it. That'll be an air ball. Pacheco put himself in position to save it, but could not corral it. And Lynchburg gets out of that possession unscathed, despite 2 really good looks at the 3 ball from the wing from the team in blue. Lynchburg early on in the second half, we've seen a couple of possessions. Result, well, I was going to say result in the Lynchburg taking the first available shot, but that time, that looked more like what we saw in the first half. Young, the spin move, gives up the ball, touched on. He had 3 assists at the break. That's a 4th one as he feeds the big man Makovic down low. Makovic has his first field goal of the game. He's got 5. Now and underneath, great cut along the baseline from Brown. Misses the bunny there. Makovic comes up with it. Now Lynchburg trailing by just 4. They've weathered the storm a little bit. But obviously trying to look for another quality possession here. Savage off balance. What a shot from Kuda Savage. Puts him on the board. He was held scoreless in the first half. Again, coming off a few missed games. He poured in 11 in the exhibition against Queens, coming off the bench. His minutes look to increase as he gets back to full strength. And he puts himself on the board. Lead is cut to just 1 possession. There's a good look again from the wing. Swingler may have gotten bumped. It's 2 Hornets fighting each other for the rebound. Young ends up coming up with it. There's a cut from Taylor. He passes it up. Passes to Makovic, who will draw a foul. He's done that quite a few times this afternoon. And he'll go to the line where he's 75% on the day. Take another look at that. Taylor chooses not to go up with it himself. Makovic really working that baseline under the Lynchburg basket. Putting himself in position. That one just rattles off for him at the line, but putting himself in position to give Lynchburg some easy baskets. Quite a few subs coming on here for the Royals. As we will see for the first time today, Melly Davis, 6'4" guard out of Newport News. CJ McCord, three-point specialist, checks back in. Held scoreless so far today. Has attempted 2 shots. And Pacheco checks back in, as he's seen some quality minutes today for the Royals. Good defense from Taylor. Malong able to get to the ball though. Now Malong has a mismatch on the much shorter Kuta Savage. Savage very active defensively, able to work him out of the paint. Instead it's going to be a contested 3. Great defense from Young. Young got back on the offensive end. Nobody found him. How about that pass from Savage? Parham didn't like the look. Now Lynchburg swinging the ball around. Foul will be called on Pacheco. He got in the way of Taylor. Second foul of the half against Eastern Mennonite. Make that the second foul of the afternoon for Andre Pacheco. Young lobs it up to Pittman. Burkholder lost it in the sky, and Pittman, another easy one down low for Lynchburg, and that jets the Hornets back into the lead as they continue to work the paint. Savage picks the pocket of Pacheco, ahead to Taylor, and the jam! Timeout, Eastern Mennonite. Miles Taylor gets on the board in a big way in this second half. Warrants the timeout from Eastern Mennonite. We'll take a look at it again. Taylor gets up and flushes that one down. This Lynchburg crowd loves it. And how about the response from Lynchburg to what was really just an incredible start to the half from Eastern Mennonite. I mean, you come out 11 straight unanswered points within the first 2 or so minutes of this half. I mean, they came out with a clear game plan. We are going to set up quality shot opportunities to our guy, and that would be Aviwe Malong. Quickly get him 8. Lynchburg able to adjust, though, and weather this storm. Certainly feeding off the crowd energy in here. Take a look at the Lynchburg women's basketball team. They will have their home opener this Wednesday. Quite a few road contests to start the season for them. So surely will be a welcome sight to get to play on their own home court. A very solid crowd in the stands today for Lynchburg. School technically still on Thanksgiving break. Students will return tomorrow and get ready to round out the fall semester with exams and last couple days of classes. Everybody enjoying a much needed break here over the long Thanksgiving weekend. Thankful that you're spending a little bit of it with us. We got a great basketball game down here on the floor. Malong currently guarded by Pittman. Lynchburg in man defense. Pacheco takes the screen from Watlington, loses control of the ball. 2-on-1 break. Young finds Pittman. Another transition bucket for Lynchburg. 2 more points in the paint. And now Lynchburg, whether you believe in momentum or not, Lynchburg seems to have taken it. How about another steal? Just some miscommunication. Young shaking his head, but a smile on his face as that one just rolls away out of bounds. Eastern Mennonite catches a break on that one. Lynchburg quickly found themselves down by 6. They have now nearly flipped that to take a 48-43 lead. 14 minutes remaining in the contest. Malong gets a switch. Now Parham on him. Ball up top. Malong ended up essentially playing defense on his teammate and C.J. McCord as Swingler makes a great effort to try and keep that one in play. Would have had Brown with nobody near him moving to the basket. Just could not get to it in time. A little bit of pressure against Young there. Man defense for the Royals as well, and they are playing up tight, trying to take away these cutters. That's a contested shot from Pittman. He's capable of making those. He's got a great stroke. Been a really solid inside-out player. Just hadn't seen a ton of minutes in the early going this season, but certainly capable of making shots like that. We're going to see Burkholder make his way back into the game. That will send Watlington to the bench. Burkholder, as we mentioned earlier, he had a quick 6 in this game and then scoreless since then. 0 of 3 from 3. Does have 4 rebounds. Picked up 3 fouls in that first half. Excuse me, 2 in the first half, 1 in the early going of the second, but he comes back in now. Have to imagine this Lynchburg defense that's been prone to take the ball inside more than we've seen so far this year. Have to imagine they'll take the ball at him. Malong adjusts in midair, but not able to get that shot to drop. Parham, corner, good look, rattles out. Offensive rebound, Young. Can't hit on that one. Ball goes back to Parham. Trying to work on the baseline. Now it's an open Taylor. He can't hit. Another offensive rebound for Pearson Young. What a day for the freshman. Just his second time playing on this court. Instead, it's a 2-on-1 break. Eastern Mennonite and Swingler will draw the foul. Went up strong for the basket. Unable to hit it. And we saw earlier in this half, Lynchburg avoiding a prolonged possession as Eastern Mennonite nabbed a couple of offensive rebounds. Now we saw Eastern Mennonite escape that last possession from Lynchburg unscathed. But how about the effort from Pearson Young? 8 points, 11 rebounds. That's right, 11 rebounds. And folks, Young's only 6'3". Going up amongst the trees and pulling down some much needed rebounds. Savage, nobody even saw him. He was kind of hiding in the corner. He goes up strong to the bucket on the other side. And he's unable to finish, but how about Savage? Just kind of hiding there in the corner. Nobody seemed to notice him drop back there except for Kevon James. Throws him a little outlet pass. Eastern Mennonite able to get back in time to alter the shot, but it will send Savage to the line. He is good on the first. Brings his scoring total to 3. Eight points a game for the senior from Reston, Virginia. Makes the second as well. That'll be 4 for him on the day. So he goes 2 for 2 at the line, just a 67% shooter on the year. Now it's going to be a hand check foul going against Landon Sutton. That's going to be his 3rd. And he will stay on the floor. Nick Andrews into the game for Eastern Mennonite, seeing his first minutes of the season. 6'4" sophomore out of Leesburg, Virginia. Now it's a turnover. 2-on-1 once again. Taylor gonna take it himself. Nope, kicks it out. James, wide open look. Oh, catches the front iron. Second opportunity for Lynchburg. Pass from Taylor misguided. Taken by Malong. No fear. Right down the lane. Can't hit. Looks like Brown thinks he may have drawn a foul. James limping a bit. Seems to have shaken it off, and immediately Lynchburg back on offense. Malong was not letting anybody get on his way. on that last drive. Andrews gets lost, finds Burkholder. And the first jam of the game for Eastern Mennonite goes to the senior, our player to watch. We have another timeout on the floor. We're going to take this one with them, and we'll be right back here on LHSN. Welcome back inside Turner Gymnasium. Once again, Sam Graham here to guide you through this first ODAC contest for each of these two teams. An odd November ODAC matchup. And quickly in the second half, just in those first 8 minutes, we saw an 11-0 run for Eastern Mennonite, which was answered by an 11-0 run by Lynchburg. Now we've kind of settled this 5-point disparity as Elijah Davis finds Makovic down low. Makovic just setting up shop right there on top of the lane from my perspective. And when the ball swings near him, he just moves into position. It's an easy basket every time. Just seems to continuously keep getting lost, then shields himself with his body. We'll take another look at it here. That time, no shielding necessary. They just lost him down low. Secondary defender rotates over to Taylor. Excuse me, Davis. Davis able to keep his eyes up, find the open man for an easy 2. Lead extends to 7. But yeah, we've started to settle here. Now each team kind of going back and forth. How about that basket from Savage? Kept very quiet offensively in the first half, but moving quickly to correct that here in the second. He's got 6 now. And shooting 60% from the field. Guard play has been excellent here for Lynchburg. Now we're going to get a foul. That's going to go against Sutton off the ball. This will earn Sutton a trip to the bench. Young will come in to replace him. Young's been fantastic today. 8 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. Nearly backcourt. Coach Scott disappointed that ball wasn't just a hair thrown back a little further. Instead, Lynchburg able to force the mess. Savage with the rebound. He draws a foul. So he had Pacheco running right next to him. That will be the 3rd personal on Pacheco today. He will stay in the game. Eastern Mennonite remains in man defense. Excuse me, they shifted there actually. 3-2 zone. Probably to try and keep from losing Makovic down low again. Makovic corrals the rebound there. Young tried to thread the needle to Davis, was not able to do so. No look pass from Brown. That's Andrews in the corner, he mishandles the ball. And there is an Eastern Mennonite turnover. 3 on the other end, Davis! Lynchburg's 3-point specialist. He has his 2nd of the game, 6 points total. And Elijah Davis, one of the most lethal 3-point shooters in the ODAC, has got a pair of them off the bench today. A 3 goes up on the other side. That was Pacheco. Can't hit. 3-on-1 break. James took it himself. Makovic was there for the follow, couldn't hit. Ball just falls onto the ground. Jump ball called as Makovic looked like he was resigned to head back on defense and looks down and says, oh, hey, there's a ball there. Able to force the tie up, but possession arrow. It's pointing towards Eastern Mennonite. Yes, it will go to the Royals. Burkholder will be the inbounder. Looks like Young was going to inbound it for the Hornets there for a second. But instead, Lynchburg will man up once again on the defensive end. Eastern Mennonite only 5 turnovers in that first half, quickly up to 10 now in the second. So 3 goes off from the corner. That was Melly Davis, unable to hit. Down low, again, Makovic follows his own shot and puts it back up and in. No answer from Eastern Mennonite for Makovic down low so far. Again, he had 10 in the first home game here for Lynchburg. Against Mary Washington, he led Lynchburg in scoring in that one. And into double figures once again, the second Lynchburg Hornet to do so today, prompting an Eastern Mennonite timeout. The lead quickly ballooning to 14 for Lynchburg. Able to quell the early run that they faced from Eastern Mennonite, who came out with a plan to get Malong the ball. Malong made a couple great shots, a couple great offensive possessions, effective passing that we expected to see from Eastern Mennonite, setting up those good looks, but since then it's really been all Hornets. Responded with a quick 11-0 run of their own, and now again extending this lead well into double digits. And Makovic, certainly a major factor in pushing that lead to what it is. He's now got 10 and shooting just 3 of 8 from the field, but again, it's like on that last possession, following his own his own shot, getting his own rebound, kicking it out to somebody else. I mean, he's just been so valuable for this team today. Quietly amassed 7 rebounds as well. Contributing to a 38-27 rebound disparity for Lynchburg. That might be the most impressive statistic for the team in white of any. Again, a team coming into today getting out rebounded by an average of 16 boards a game. A little over 16 to be exact. And Coach Scott said that's one of the biggest areas they're looking to improve. I asked him if you feel like at the pace you play at, is a nice move there from McIntyre. We haven't seen him in a while. He made an instant impact when he came in earlier and provides a little on the offensive end. Quickly here after checking back in. Watlington also back on the floor for Eastern Mennonite. They join Malong, Brown, and Davis. Foul called there. That's going to go against McIntyre again. Lynchburg certainly not shying away from going at him. McIntyre's 3rd personal of the game puts Parham at the line. Parham good on the first. Those are actually his first point of this second half. Again, averaging 8.5 coming into today. He scored 15 against Queens. Now that doesn't count towards his average as it was an exhibition, but following that up with 13 so far today, sure Lynchburg would like to get him going a little bit more as this second half progresses. Still 7:40, just under 7:40 to go in the game. There's a good look from 3 from the wing. That's been his spot in the second half. Malong, that is, unable to connect there. That one really just rimmed in and out. Parham gets lost in transition. His layup will not fall. Eastern Mennonite back. They need a bucket. Trailing by 13. Great look This time Malone cashes in on it and the lead's back down to 10. Parham went for the steal, something he's been great at this year. Leads the team, 2.5 of them a game. That's third in the ODAC as well, but unable to come up with it there. And anytime you go for the steal and you're unable to get it, it's just like being a corner in football. You go for the interception instead of the pass breakup. You don't get it. It often results in a big play. That time it resulted in a triple for Aviwe Malong. He's now got 20, but the next leading scorer for Eastern Mennonite is Mark Burkholder. He's got 8. How about a 3 there, though, from Jordan Brown? That'll take him to 5. What I was about to say is this is an Eastern Mennonite team with 3 guys scoring upwards of 10 a game. Just a good, clean look there from Brown as you see it again. Today, it's been only Malong, and there once again is Makovic. He makes that shot. He's just smiling. Another timeout called on the floor. You got to figure Makovic, just not sure how he keeps getting lost, but not going to complain about it. Lynchburg leads by 9. We're going to take this timeout with them. We're going to step aside for a second, and we will return for the conclusion between the Hornets and the Royals here on LHSN. Well, to continue the point I was touching on before that timeout was called, Eastern Mennonite, a team that we talked about in the pregame, spreads the ball around effectively, high assist numbers, not afraid to share the ball, look for the best possible shot, and they're not shooting a bad percentage by any means today. But more so the scoring distribution, it's really been all Malong. He leads all scorers with 20. And obviously, if you're Coach Felix, you love to see that. Is in transition. Young, how did he make that shot? Hits the ground hard, though. Helped up, seems to be okay. Acrobatics there from the freshman, who is having the game of his young career. That takes him to double figures. He's the 3rd Hornet to do so. And the first double-double of the season for Lynchburg goes to the 6'3" freshman, Pearson Young. 10 points, 13 rebounds. How about 6 assists as well, getting his teammates involved. Unable to convert on the 3-point play. Ball goes out of bounds, say last touched by Pittman. Lead is only 11. Still 6 minutes to go in this game. Eastern Mennonite absolutely still in this, but for Coach Felix, to come down the stretch here, do you look to continue to set up shots from Malong and rely on his shooting ability? Or do you look to get some of these other guys involved? Burkholder's been eerily quiet since the early going of this game. Foul's going to be called there. It's going to be an offensive foul against Brown. Parham takes the charge, and Lynchburg takes over again. Heads up play there from Parham. As now we approach this 5-minute mark to go in the game, every single stop is critical, even if you're the team ahead. But yeah, for Coach Felix, this foul is going to be called on Taylor. There's another offensive foul. He doesn't like it. It's going to be the 7th on the Hornets. Both teams in the bonus now. That was off the ball. Must have just gotten tangled up. Let's see who the offense flows through on this possession. Pacheco able to shake off Parham. Had Burkholder in the corner. Instead, he travels. And there is another Eastern Mennonite turnover. I believe that is the 12th of the game against the Royals. Did a great job in the first half protecting the ball. Only 5 turnovers in that first half. And again, I mean, this is a Lynchburg team that's really good at forcing turnovers. Part of that just goes with the territory of the pace they play at. They want to get you up and down the court. That's going to result in a lot of fouls and a lot of steals often. How about 2 more for Parham? Lead extends to 13. Parham's got 15, matches his season high. Will be an official season high as Young gets tangled up with Swingler there. Inadvertent, but foul will go against Swingler. That will be his 5th of the game, so his afternoon is done. He will check out with 4 points and 4 rebounds. Also knocked in a triple. Help things get going in the second half for Eastern Mennonite, but it will put Young at the line. Where he is 0 of 1 on the day. Of course, just saw him go to the line a few possessions ago. Hits on the first. 1 and 1 here. So earns himself a second attempt. Shoots well at the line, 77% on the season. And that one bounces high off the back of the rim, won't drop. And a foul will go against Pittman. So now the foul's beginning to rack up. Did not see many in the first half. But that will be the 18th of the game against Lynchburg. Compare that to 17 for Eastern Mennonite. 35 fouls in this game. And again, both teams are in the bonus. I mean, if you're Lynchburg and Coach Scott and you're nursing a 14-point lead here on your home court, you've had the momentum. Eastern Mennonite now, they can draw a couple fouls. Also puts them along at the line. That's really not who you want at the line. He makes good on the first. But if Eastern Mennonite's able to slow down the game, that's how you're able to get back in. I mean, you can score points while the clock is stopped. That's the first and foremost positive. But you can also slow down this Lynchburg team that's really had the momentum for most of the second half. So Malone goes 2 for 2. He's been fantastic, 22 points today. His career high is 26, so officially on watch to see if he beats that. Parham, another 3. Speaking of career highs, his is 21. He sits at 18. And what a game from Jordan Parham. 3 of 6 from 3. 18 points to lead all Lynchburg scorers. Couple rebounds, couple assists as well. He gets tangled up with DeJordan Brown there. That will send, of course, Brown to the line. Brown 75% on the season. Just 1 trip this afternoon. He's 0 of 1 on the day. Hits on the first, calm and collected. Lead is 14 for Lynchburg. Really complete day so far for Brown. He's got 6 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. 2 for 2 at the line. The lead is just 13 for Lynchburg. Ball swings once more to Parham. He thought about Savage, who was open, trying to trap Young, and Young throws it. Well, would have been to about the 3rd row behind the Lynchburg bench, but how about the one-handed grab? Athleticism there from Jason Easton. Odell Beckham Jr. on the bench. Snags that ball and keeps it from hitting the stands. Parham once more goes for the steal, will not get it. But Malong's feet started moving before the ball. And that's going to be another travel on Eastern Mennonite. Takes their turnover total up to 15. 14, excuse me. Lynchburg didn't convert a lot of points off the 5 turnovers that Eastern Mennonite had in the first half. They've now got 19 points off of the 9 that they forced in the second half. Good look for Taylor, corner 3, can't hit. How about another rebound for Young, and Taylor cutting to the basket. That has been the narrative for today. We came in today with a Lynchburg team known for shooting the 3 in volume and early in the shot clock. Today, a much more methodical attack. Everybody crashing the boards, particularly Pearson Young, as a 3 goes up from long, no good. Battling for the rebound, Pacheco, Parham, and Taylor. Ends up with Malong in the corner. He drives. Strong move to the bucket. He's got 24. But how about the changing narrative for Lynchburg unfolding before our eyes, doing everything that Coach Scott was urging them to do, aside from, of course, slowing down the offensive prowess of V-Way Malong. But if we're being honest, there's not a whole lot of teams in this conference or around the country that are going to slow down Malong over the course of this season. Incredibly crafty, got great length, gives hard effort, and just a great stroke really from anywhere on the court. His film speaks for itself. He's put up solid nights against everyone he's faced, really over the past 2 seasons. But the flip side of that is, yeah, okay, Malong has 24, but you're looking at a team that has six or so guys averaging right around 7 points a game or better. But you've really slowed down a lot of these other offensive pieces for Eastern Mennonite. Burkholder only with 8, Jordan Brown only with 7, Hagerman 6. Swingler fouled out now, he finished with 4. And Watlington with 3. These are guys that for your team have been big helps on the offensive end. And with the way that this team can share the ball, which they've still done today, maybe not quite as much here in the latter half of the second, but 13 assists. Credit to Lynchburg as well on the assists as well. 16 on the day. They were averaging just 10 on the season. That was something that Coach Scott wanted to change with this team even before the season started, when we spoke before the Mary Washington game. So he's got to be excited as Pittman, who quietly now sneaks into double figures with 11. He's the 4th Hornet to do so. Brown pulls up. Jordan Brown. Shot glances off the iron, no good. Parham stops on a dime and resets to Savage, as now we see Lynchburg starts to slow things down. Pressure up on Savage, but with a 15-point lead. Savage! Strong take to the bucket for 2 more. Great second half from Kuda Savage. He's up to 8 points. Pair that with 3 rebounds and 2 assists. And now another Hornet nearing double figures. The lead is 17. Burkholder converts on his first 3 of the afternoon. Second Royal into double figures, exceeds his scoring average. 10.8 coming into today. Pittman again down low. Now Lynchburg just feasting in transition. They're getting pressed up early, and these guards are able to find, well, in back-to-back cases, Pittman on the other end. It's Young down on the court. Play has not stopped yet. Burkholder hits another 3. Now play will be halted. Officials let that possession play out. But Young, a guy that's had such a great day early season for Lynchburg, great day today. You hope he's okay, as the trainers will tend to him. We're going to step aside here for a moment while the trainers tend to Young. We'll be back for the final 86 seconds of this contest.
Lynchburg really stood out for me just because of the way it treated its students. They really do make an effort here. And I've learned that over my 4 years is that they actually do try to listen to what the student body wants, and they try to act on that. They don't really just give you a piece of paper here to then go off and do your own thing. They actually prepare you to like work with different populations, which is what the world is all about. It's just working with people that are different than you. They genuinely care that everyone has the ability to go off into the world and make a difference with whatever they like. For me, that's just being basically in a room with someone helping them achieve their first goal of, I don't know, doing a pull-up. I actually do believe they want you to do the best you can to change someone's life for the better. You can be anyone here, which I think is really cool. But regardless of who you are here, they will make sure you don't fall through the cracks, which is awesome. I have realized that I've never felt lost here. I will not regret ever coming here, that's for sure. So I'm very glad that I came here. Yeah, it's actually pretty awesome.
My name is Brittany Coleman. I graduated in 2014, and I
Welcome back inside Turner Gymnasium. You see Pearson Young, who's had just a fantastic day and start to his freshman season, being helped to the bench by the Lynchburg trainers. Have to hope he's okay. Fantastic young man, fantastic basketball player. Officials wiping up the spot on the floor where he went down. It'll be Taylor to inbound from under his own basket. Once again, the press from Eastern Mennonite. Gets it into Parham. Ball tipped by Malong again. Touched on his length a moment ago. Nearly took away that pass. The lead is 13 for Lynchburg. So Taylor in accordance, in no hurry. Just 63 seconds to go in this game. Parham, strong take to the basket, won't drop. Pittman was there for the rebound with 3 Royals around him. Does manage to tip it back up, but the shot won't drop. Pittman filling the role that Makovic served for most of the first 10 minutes of the second half. It's been Pittman in the last 5 or so. Burkholder, of course, hit a second 3 before the stoppage, back-to-back for him. And there's one for Malong. Career high for Aviwe Malong. He's been sensational today for this Eastern Mennonite team. Take a look at it again. Ball able to be picked up by Brown, kicked out, great look, top of the key. And Malong able to knock it down. He's got 27, 5 rebounds to go with those. Again, his previous career high, 26. So rewriting his own record books there. Also cuts the lead to 10. 3-point shot hasn't fallen a ton for Eastern Mennonite in this second half. Until the last several minutes. They were 33% at the half. They're now up to 40%. They've hit 3 in a row. 2 from Burkholder, 1 for Malong. Of course, that's Malong's 5th on the day. As that easily leads everybody who's touched the court. He only had 7 coming into the game, so nearly doubling his season total, going from 7 to 12. And I got a hunch he's probably going to take another 3 or 2 before we hit triple zeros on the clock. Set up in the press again. It's going to be Malong on the inbounder, which again will be Taylor. Both of those guys have good length. Everybody else in man. Lynchburg stacked up, now they break. Once again, Parham breaks to the ball, but the inbound will go to Savage. Parham moving, again, no hurry. Has not been fouled. Will not be fouled, yes he will. Finally, with 22 seconds to go, Malong decides to give up that foul, the 9th of the day on Eastern Mennonite. will send Parham to the line. Parham just 3 points away from a career high himself. 1 of 2 at the line today. Make it 2 of 3. Of course, double bonus now for Lynchburg. .71% on the year. And he's gonna make better on that percentage with that trip as he goes 2 for 2. Brown in no hurry. Now finds a lane, tries to get it to Malone. That would have set up a corner 3. Malone cannot track it down. And with a 12-point lead with 12 seconds to go, this one all but over. Once again, Miles Taylor will inbound. He gets it into Savage. No foul against Savage. And he will be able to run out the court on the first home win of the season for Lynchburg. They will improve to 2 and 3 and get off to a 1-0 start in ODAC play as they took control early on in this second half and really never looked back. They will hold on for a 12-point win, their largest of the season. On the other side, Eastern Mennonite will drop below 500 down to 2 and 3, 0 and 1 in ODAC play. And for the Royals, again, it'll be a return home to face Marymount, currently 3 and 2, team that got the best of Lynchburg with a second half run. And for Lynchburg, 3 straight ODAC opponents next up on the schedule. It'll be a road game against Ferrum this Wednesday, and then a couple more at home, Virginia Wesleyan and Hampton-Sydney. That will certainly be a tough stretch for the Hornets. But able to escape today by a rather comfortable margin as they pull away in the second half. Again, Parham leads all scorers, gets into 20, a new season high for him. Knocked in 3 triples to go along with it. 3 rebounds, 3 assists as well. Malone leads all scorers with 27 and 5 rebounds to pair with those. Take a look at these final highlights, and Lynchburg changing the narrative of how they play a little bit today. Just beautiful offense that they set up early on in the game. They did slow down their pace a little bit, but look what happens. You still pick up 80 points in the game. You're still able to turn over your opponent a lot. You don't send them to the line as much, so you don't sacrifice too much of that pace, but you are able to get quality looks, quality possessions, and that's something that Coach Scott really harps on heading into this game, and a big part of that was righting the ship in terms of the rebounding department as Lynchburg out-rebounds the Royals 43-34. That is going to wrap things up here from inside Turner Gymnasium. Once again, I am Sam Graham, and we are signing off.